All right, first off, Kalal Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakadash, double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Akim out there pushing his word in all sincerity, in all truth. So, Baraka Bashem Jamaica camp. All right, and what I want to go into in this lesson, is the idea of catharsis, right, which we have here up on screen in the online etymology dictionary. And the reason, I was influenced, to go into this word, by the Holy Spirit, the Haraka Kodash, is because of a verse in 1 Corinthians 13 that we usually bring out, that we are the filth. 1 Corinthians 4 verse 13, that we are the filth of the earth. When you look up that word, you get a surprising meaning, which I hope after this lesson brothers get a lot of edification from. But we're going to read the definition for catharsis, and then we get into 1 Corinthians 4 verse 13 and read a couple other scriptures that exemplify or explain, the idea of catharsis a bit further, right? So this definition, catharsis, is a noun. It says a bodily purging, especially of the bowels, from the Latinized form of the Greek catharsis, which means a purging or a cleansing from the stem of kathairane, right, which you're going to bring out, to purify, to purge, from katharos, which means pure, clear of dirt, clean, spotless, open, free, clear of shame or guilt, purified, right, with most of the extended senses now found in modern English, clear, clean, pure, which is of unknown origin, right? So we know, as Akim coming into this truth, that when we were in the world, we were filthy, right? Filthy morally, filthy in our bodies, filthy in our minds, in our spirit, but when we come to this truth, right, we begin a process of cleansing. We begin a process of catharsis, right? And that process begins with the inward man, right? By the change of our mind, by the change of our spirit, to purify and to purge away all the dross, all the different philosophies that we were brought up in, all the different customs that we adopted throughout our lifetime, the different sins that we committed. We are purified and purged from all that by what? By the word. The scripture says, sanctify them through that truth. That word is truth. The word sanctify means to cleanse or to make clean or to set apart, right? So we were sanctified. We were washed, by the water, which is the word, right? So we're going to get into 1 Corinthians 4 verse 13. It says, being defamed, we entreat. We are made as the filth of the world and are the offscouring of all things unto this day. Now, when you look up that word filth, right, we get the word here perikatharma, right, which is a compound word, right, that has its roots in the word that we just brought out, catharsis, right? Let's read what perikatharma means, right? So it says, offscouring, refuse, metaphorically the most abject and despicable men, and that's how we, are highlighted, are displayed, in the public eye. The public perception sees us as abject and despicable. We are pretty much refuse. But when you go deeper into the word, especially the suffix katharma, right, it says the price of expiation or redemption. And if you look up that word expiation, let me see if I can look it up here. Right, the word expiation means the act of making amends or preparing or reparation for guilt or wrongdoing, atonement. So us going through this, right? Us going through this is a form of what? Of a form of expiation or redemption, right? This is our cleansing, This is our catharsis. Going out there in the highways and the byways, being ridiculed, being demonized, being come against, our family abandoning us, friends abandoning us, all different things that we go through, right? The different trials and tribulation, the baptism, if you want to put it that way, right? The fire of the baptism, right, is for what? It is for our expiation and redemption and our purifying, our catharsis, right? It says because the Greeks use the term katharmata, right, to victim sacrifice to make expiation for the people, and even to criminals who were maintained at the public expense, that on the outbreak of a pestilence or other calamity, they might be offered as sacrifices to make expiation for the state. And the scripture tells us in Romans chapter 12 to offer ourselves as a living sacrifice to Yahweh Shai, right? So we sacrifice the old man, right, in order to win what? In order to win Yahweh Shai through the new man, right? So we sacrifice this life. This life is what we put aside. This life is what we sacrifice to make expiation, right? To make amends, to be redeemed, right? Through Yahweh Shai, by the blood and sacrifice of Yahweh Shai in the new man, right? So the new man is what comes alive, is what comes out of that process as clean and pure. Just like if you dig up some metal ores from out the ground, for example, some gold ores or iron ores, in order to purify that metal, you put it through a process of catharsis. You put it in an oven, you melt away and purge away all the dross, and then that new thing that comes out is the pure metal. So that's the process that we are going through right now, right? So if we read on to the lexicon, it quotes Proverbs 21 verse 18. I will just go and read it for edification's sake. It says, the wicked shall be a ransom for the righteous, and the transgressor for the upright. Now if you look in the Greek Old Testament, the Septuagint, the word that is translated for ransom is katharmata, right? Which showing you that they was pretty much conveying the same idea of sacrifice for wrongdoing, right? But we also want to look up here the Hebrew word there, kafar. It says the price of a life, ransom, bribe, right? So, and there's another precept, I believe, in Isaiah chapter 43 that says that, the Heavenly Father will give other nations as a ransom for us. So that's another idea, or that's another way to bring out, the word. But we're going to focus on the root, right, which is kathairo, or kathairo, right? Kathairo. It says to cleanse or purify, to cleanse of filth, impurity, etc. To prune trees and vines from useless shoots. Metaphorically, from guilt to expiate, right? And if you go down to the Theos Greek lexicon, it says to cleanse properly from filth, impurity, trees, vines from useless shoots, right? To prune, metaphorically from guilt to expiate. And then it gives you the example here, Jeremiah 13 and verse 27. We're going to get that, right? It says, I have seen thine adulteries, thy neighings, the lewdness of thy whoredoms, and thine abomination on the hills of the fields. Woe unto thee, O Jerusalem! Wilt thou not be made clean? When shall it once be? Right? So we know as the elect, hopefully elect, coming out of this filth, coming out of these adulteries, these neighings, these lewdness, whoredoms, abominations, we were all a part of it. But we know have been made clean through what? Through the catharsis of the Spirit. Right? That's how we have been made clean, through the catharsis of the Spirit. We have been cleansed, we've been purified, we are being pruned. Right? So even the camps, right? The camps are being pruned. Useless shoots are being cut off, yo. If you're part of the camp, you're not useful to the body. You're not being spiritually productive. You're gonna be cut off, right? Just like when you prune a garden, if you have any useless shoots that's not producing fruit, right? You cut it off, yo. Right? Just like Yahushua said about the I believe it was a fig tree, right? Hey, it was a parable, I believe, that the sower looked for fruit from the tree and there was no fruit. So what did they do? They cut it down and cast it into the furnace, yo. Right? So we are being pruned, we're being purged, we're being purified through the catharsis of the Spirit. That's pretty much what I wanted to bring out. So again, the focus was on this word, catharsis, bodily purging. Right? Kalala Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Makakadash. Forgive me the spirit to this lesson. Hopefully this lesson was edifying. Shalom.